So today we have to discuss the tutorial or the class activities relating to the decision logics. So in fact, I have uploaded your class activities 2 that is on the decision logics, and hope you would have tried that. So during the week that I have added another question to that, and also I have updated you on the situation as well. Hopefully you would have got the message and you would have attempted both the questions. Right, and so in the last Sunday we had our assignment, that is class assignment 2, and most of you had done that without any issues, but some of you have indicated that and that you had faced some issues as to the coverage and the internet speed. So when it comes to activity of that nature, basically it takes 30 minutes time. So that's why we are simply allowing you to attempt that during 30 minutes time. So the ones who may have the issues, so basically we may consider that case by case. So therefore, at the moment that we are not in a position to extend the time, but depending on the situation, so we may consider case by case. So that would be the approach that that some of you have requested, that can we extend the time. So in fact, if we extend the time, then so the particular activity, the value may be gone. It is something that must be tried within a limited period of time, say 30 minutes. So that's why we are using that particular time allocation. So we may go by that. And so when you have the questions, so better refer to me, then I may consider that case by case. So that's how we may think of proceeding, right? Okay. So as usual, so let's get started. So I would like that someone to volunteer and take us through the first question of the class activities. So let's see, someone to volunteer and let's discuss that. Yes. So without taking much time, so we have 2 activities to discuss. So can someone initiate? So as we used to do. So you can share the screen and then we may discuss activities. Okay. Thank you, Roshana. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at, so you have perfectly worked out all the 3 commissions. So now let's focus on the first commission. So can you please erase the answer that is there in the commission 1 and let's work that out from the very beginning. Then yes, you have done it very correctly. So can you remove that answer there, selecting the first column. So select the entire one and delete it. That must be the way. Right. Okay, let's do it from the beginning. Let's see what is the question first. It says that the commission 1, it is based on if the segment is consumer, commission is 3%. If the segment is corporate, the commission is 2%. And it is home office, the commission is 1%. Right. Okay. Then can you take us how you managed to do that, Roshana? You have taken the if function. Okay. Then shall we put it to the expanded form? So shall we put it to the expanded form? Then it is easier to see. You can take ifs. It has to be ifs. Okay. So first you have select the ifs function and okay. Then the logical test. Right. The consumer. You have selected that and ensure that whether it is consumer category. If so, you have to give 3% discount. Sorry, 3% commission. The commission must be 3% from the sales. Okay. The name has not been taken. That's why the name is appearing there. We have to put them within brackets. Sorry, within the double quotes. Right. Okay. You ensure that. Again, this is something where the things can go wrong when you are trying out. But if it is not being taken here in front of this logical test, there it appears something is wrong. So now it is fine. You can see the logical test takes as true. Right. Okay. Then you have moved to the logical test 2, and then you have taken cooperate. Okay, good. So if so, you have to allow a discount of 2%. Sorry, commission of 2%. Right, fine. Then the third one, you have tested the same one, that is for the home, right? Okay, home office. And yes. So if that is the case, 1% you have to allow, right? So that must be the case. Yes, you have done that very correctly, perfect. So then you can simply double click the corner. Yes, if you double click it, it applies accordingly. Yes, very correct. So there you have easily managed that using the if function, right? Good job, appreciated. So can there be any other way of getting into the same answer? So here you have done it using the if function. Can there be any other way of getting into the same answer from the functions that you have learned? So in fact, there must be another way of getting into the same answer from what you have learned. So under the if functions, there must be another way. So this is the most convenient way, I would say, that using the if function. You're perfectly correct. But the same outcome you could have achieved using another function. What it could be. So out of the functions that you have learned, how about using the nesting if? Using the nesting if, you could have achieved the same. So shall we try the same thing using the nesting if? Prashana, can we delete that? Yes, okay, fine. So if so, you have to take if function, you are taking the if function, right? And then let's put it to the expanded form, then it can be clearly seen. Yeah. So it is equal, you get the if function, put it to the expanded form. Right. Now you are giving the logical test. The first test you put whether this A2 cell is equal to the consumer. If true, then what you would do? Okay, you take that into 3%, right? Then you are moving to the valid if false. Here we have two more options. So accordingly, we can't manage it just using a one if. Another if is needed for the purpose, since we have two more conditions. So accordingly, we may, having clicked on the if false, now you can take another if. You can go to the name box. In the name box, you can take that. So while you are there, you can go to the name box. So there you can find out So there you can find out the if function. It should be the if function. Click on that, drop down. Yes, the if is there. No? So it seems that the right has come over there. You may have to go and correct that. So you can see that the formula is appearing. Yeah. Shall we erase that a little? From there up to right, yes. Now click on the false. You have to first click on the false, and then you may take that. Good. You can simply click on that. Okay. Now you can take your second test. So you are going to check whether this is equal to cooperate. So if so, you are going to allow a discount of say 2%. If it's a corporate segment, the allowable commission is 2%. So it is into 0.02. Seems that something is wrong with the connection. Seems that we are stuck there. Then you are taking that is into 0.2%. Then if false, you can make it right. Let me do that on his behalf. Right, let me take you through that. Okay, thank you very much, Roshana. So hope you can see my screen. Hope you all can see that. Right. So here we could have taken, so that is if I'm expanding that, I'll be checking whether this segment is equal to the consumer. If it is equal to the consumer, the allowable commission is going to be in fact 3%. 3%. Then value if false, we may be taking another if where I have to go to the name box. So then I take it. Then I'm checking my second test, the second condition, whether it is equal to the corporate. So if it is equal to the corporate, I'll be taking the sales that is into 0.02, the commission. Then the value if false, since you have only one more condition, you could have even take it here. So since but we do not know whether there are many more categories, so it is safe to have another if and get the job done. So we may check whether it is equal to home office. The third category, what it is given over there, home office. Then we may be giving a discount of, a commission of 0.01. Then value be false, you can simply ask it to ignore. So taking a null value, null value there. So how do you take that? You open the double quotes and you close the double quotes. If anything other than that, you need not to appear anything over there. So you make it a null value. Then you can say okay. Again, you may be ended up making into the same output as you used to have using the if function. So either way, it is correct. But I feel the if function would do the job in no time. Right? Okay. So this is how we may get this. So if you have any questions on this, you can raise when and where you have it. Okay. Right. Okay, fine. Now let's move on to the second commission. Right. Second commission, yes. So would like someone to contribute first, then followed by our discussion. Right. Okay, Lakshita, thank you. Right. Take us a commission too. So let's remove what you have at the moment, and you have done it perfectly. Good job. But we may take the whole class through that. Okay, how you did? You have taken if. Okay, good. Then you have selected the not function there. Good, not function there. And not only that, you have to go for another. So you have taken O function, right? Then you check whether this state is California or Kentucky. So you have to be very careful with the term, the words what you are using. Right, good, fine. You have checked these two conditions. If it is not California or the Kentucky, the sales commission must be 5%. So then you make it the sales commission, that is 5%. That is 5%. Yes, so it's a marvelous job. Good job. Very correct. You have done it perfectly. So there we have make use of three functions. You can see the if was taken, the not had to be taken, and also the or function had to be taken. So that's how we may work this out. So you have done it very perfectly. So good job, Lakshita. So if you have any question, anything to get clarified, or if you had encountered any issues while you are working, so better come up with that. So here, just to show that, so the Lakshita has done it perfectly, but just to show, as Lakshita did, we have to first take this if function. So we are taking this if function. Then we may have to use this not function. We had to make use of not function because except the Kentucky and the California, the other states are eligible for a discount. So therefore, I had to take this not function. The not function itself is not good enough because the two states were there. So therefore, not function itself cannot do the job because the two conditions are there, either California or Kentucky. They may not eligible. So මෙතන අපිට not function එකකින් විතරක් කරගන්න බැහැ පුතා. මොකද මෙතන තියෙනවා conditions දෙකක්. එක්ක Kentucky state එක එහෙම නැත්නම් California. නිසා අපිට සිද්ධ වුණා not එක විතරක් නෙමෙයි or function එකත් use කරන්න. එතෙන්ට ඇවිල්ලා අපි යන්න අපේ test එක දුන්නා very correctly. B2 කියන එක check කරා අපි whether it is Kentucky. Whether it's Kentucky or we have checked whether it is California. So these are the two conditions that we had tested. Then we have go for this if. If that is the case, then what we did, there the discount, eligible discount was 5% from the sales, not the discount, in fact, the commission. I'm always referring that to the discount, but I mean the commission. Huh? Sorry for that. 0.05. Otherwise, yes, we can take a null value. Null value. Yes. So as Lakshita did, so we have got into the, so here we may have to drag it. So you can simply apply that. So there are like the 1,000 odd records are there. So the good piece of work has to be done, right? Fine. Now I would like someone to volunteer and take us through the third one. The third commission, what we have, would like someone to volunteer and take us through. And at the meantime, would like I like you to ask questions. So if you have any questions on this, better raise the questions in the meantime. Yes, someone may take us through that. The third one. So we may try this, no problem. So things need not to be perfect. Your attempt is appreciated. If anyone has attempted, again, there are two ways I would see that of doing the things. Okay, thank you, Ravindu. Right. Fine, Ravindu has done it perfectly. So let's go to the top and see how you have managed to do. Right. Yes, you have done it exactly the correct way. Good. So then shall we remove the answer and shall we show how you have managed to taken that? So in fact, you made use of the nesting if, perfectly correct. So, but let's show the entire class how you have managed to do that. So here you have started with taking if function, and then you have to incorporate the AND function as well. Then you can expand it, and the conditions goes like The first one is the consumer. So you are looking for a segment, consumer, state, California, and the product is table. So that may be the three things what you may be looking at. It's California, right? Good. And the third thing, it's about tables. The product has to be table. Right. Okay. These are the three conditions that must be there, that must be satisfied simultaneously. Okay. Then if it is true, you said to take a commission of 7%. The commission is 7%. Right. Very correct. Then valid if false. Yes. Sorry. You have to move to the valid. Yes. Good. Having moved to the valid if false, you are taking another if. You are taking another if. Good. So then again, the if itself may not do the job, you may have to take and function as well. And this time you are looking for whether it is the corporate segment, New York machines. It's corporate segment and it is equal. Something went wrong. Equal. Yeah. Good. So you check it whether it is New York. Good. And it is machine, whether it is machines. Machines. Yes, good, correct. Fine. If yes, that's all our logical test, then we have to go back to the if. No, I think. Yeah, you may have to go back to the if. Click on the if. Having given the test, we may go. Yes, good. If true, you are going to say apply the discount of 7%. 7%. Or otherwise, you can simply take it as a null value even. That would do the job. We take it as a null value. Good. Right. Very perfect. You have done it perfectly using, you can simply drag, using the nesting if function. Good. Perfect. That must be the way of, perfect way of doing. And I would suggest that there is even another way that you could have got into the same output. What it is. Yes. The one way is nesting if. Using the nesting if, you could have taken the answer as usual. Using another function from what you had learned, you could have achieved the same output. What it would be? That would be the ifs function. No, even using the ifs, you could have done the same. So shall we try out that as well? Ifs, right? So let's yeah, we'll start. You can take the ifs function. Okay. Then you have to check three conditions. So therefore, you have to take and as well. No, taking ifs. You have to take a bracket. Take a bracket over there. Then you can take and. No, you have type and. Right. Okay. Then double click. And now let's expand that. Expand the formula. Shall we expand it? Then we can easily see that. No? Right. Now we are checking whether the segment is kind of consumer. Whether it's consumer. First condition. Then the second one. So it's from California. Equals California. California. The third one, it is about the tables. It's about the tables. Right? Good. Now you can simply click on ifs. Now we have given the logical functions perfectly. Click on the ifs. Ifs there, yes. Yeah, there. No. Yeah. Yes. Right? Click on that. Okay. Seems that something had gone wrong. Yeah, remove that bracket and see. And click on the ifs. No, still in the logical. Yeah, click on ifs. Now it says unidentified now. So what went wrong? Right. Okay. Fine. Let me do that on your behalf, Puta. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ramdu. Right. Another way of doing that you could have done here, we could have made use of the ifs function, right? So as you did in the first case, you may take ifs, then you take the and, because there are certain other conditions. Now we can expand it, expanding that. So the first one, we are checking whether this segment is consumer. Whether this segment is consumer, we are checking that. Then we need to ensure the state, whether it is Kentucky, right? Is it? Sorry, California. California. We are checking that whether it is California. And the third test, it is the product. It has to be tables. It has to be tables. So this is my 3 tests that must be satisfied simultaneously. The AND condition would suggest that everything has to be satisfied. If everything gets satisfied, I may click on the ifs, and so it's there. Once I click on the ifs, that, yeah, right, valid if true has come over there. Right, valid if true, you have to say what you are supposed to do with that. If everything gets satisfied, you are going to say allow a commission of, say, 7%. Allow a commission of 7%. Then the logical test 2. Again, you may have to take AND. You may have to take AND function. So you would take AND. Again, you are giving the 3 logics that you had done earlier. So this time we are checking whether it is corporate New York machines. The first one, whether it is corporate. Whether it's corporate. Then the state, is it New York, right? Yeah, it's New York. The third one, whether this product, is it machines? Whether it is machines. We are checking that. Then if you go back to this ifs, so let me click on that. Once you come back, they need to show that the results to be entered. Still, it does not take us there. Right, let me do that like this. Let me take the ifs. And so in the logical test, we can take it like and type everything there. The first one, let me do that again. That is about consumer. Whether it's consumer. Then the second condition, it's about the state, whether it is California. California. The third one, the product, whether it is bookcase, whether it is tables, no? Tables, right? Then you can say what is the value if true. Value if true, it is going to be a discount of 7%. Then the logical test 2, again you have to take AND. You may take AND over there, and you may check the first one, whether it is corporate segment. It's corporate segment, and then the state, whether it is New York. The third condition, the product, whether it is machines. If so, what must be the case? Again, we are going to say allow a discount of 0.07%. 7. That's it. Now we have taken that, and you can see, okay. Some opening or closing, just to check this formula. The tables, this has to be closed. Okay. Then you have to, wherever you have taken this and, you have to make sure that you are closing these brackets appropriately. So otherwise it may not. Then it seems, okay, and you have closed over there, and you have closed it over there. Shows that something is wrong, but so in fact you could have taken that. Seems that we are getting a little stuck over there, so we may move on to the rest of the things. So at the moment we could have managed that using the nesting if, and later we may come back and see that, right? Okay, you are taking that if or and, so another condition. Yes, Lakshita, the way you suggest it is even will do the job. What you have suggested would do the job, right? So I just wanted to show another way using the ifs function. So let's see that later, right? So at the moment it is not working. We may not stagnate there. We may move on, and later we may come and try them again, right? Okay, fine. So now let's move on to the question number 2. Question 2. So there you are given the sales of ABC data file, and there we have like 14 questions. So let's take that through very quickly, right? Okay. So would like someone to initiate the question number 2, the first part. Yes, without taking much time, since we have like 14 questions to be discussed. So let's take it quickly. Would like someone to volunteer? Yes, Buddha. If anyone who had tried this out. So I have uploaded that in Sunday, in fact. Right, are there anyone to volunteer, or shall we see this together? So what is better? So if you haven't tried that, yes, thank you, Hilma. Yes, we may see. Okay, good. So you have done the first one very correctly, but I would like to ask you that how you have managed to get these names over here. Yes, you have very correctly taken that. The names were very correctly taken. So here, yes, that was the approach you have taken. So you have done a kind of filtering, and you have managed to get that. Okay, good. Then I would like to even show you one particular path for this, another way of getting this done. Hilma, can you copy all the names to a different kind of column? No, from the original data set. From the original data set, copy everything. So even you can select this column, column B. Yeah, you can select that and place it in a different location. So let us go to the top. Right, can you place that in the H? Okay, good. Right, now you may select the H column. You may select the H column. Right, now it is selected, it seems. Right, good. Right, so we could have another approach. So this is another way. The Hilma has done it very perfectly. So otherwise, what you could have done is, having selected this, you could have go to the data. So in data ribbon, so there you have option in the data tools. You can see remove duplicates. You can see that in the data tools, the option is there to remove duplicates. Even you could have taken that option, say OK, then you maybe ended up getting into, once you say OK, yes, the same output you could have achieved. So either way you could have taken, right? So Hilma, can you take us how you have applied this filtering? So there you have simply gone to the same data set and apply the filters. Is that? Yes, you have selected and filter option was taken, no? Right, okay, that is how you have done. So another way of getting into the same, right? Okay, right, either way, the very first thing is you need to identify who would be the unique salesperson that is there, right? Then, so let us remove the answers that is there, and shall we work this out? The dollar amount, you have done it perfectly. So let us show the class how you have managed to do that, right? Okay, then you may take, fine, the total dollar amount. Okay, you have taken the sum if, you have taken sum if, then shall we put it to the expanded form, Putha? Expanded form. Then there it asks you to select the range. So here, instead of selecting that, one sensible way of doing this, you could have used the range names smart, isn't it? So in a question of this nature, so shall we cancel it? And from the beginning, shall we apply the range name? So when you have a large scale database, so the easiest way that you may select the entire thing and apply the range names first. No? So let's select the data set and go to the range names. So you can select everything. Rather than giving one by one, what we could have done, we could have select the entire data set and we could have simply asked to create from selection. No? So that may comes handy. We have learned about 3 ways of doing that. In a situation like this, what it feels better. So you could have selected the entire thing and you could have easily asked to create from selection. Then it asks top row, say OK. So with that, you have applied the range names. Now your task is pretty much easy. Right, now let's go to the sum if. So let's go to sum if. It takes the expanded form. Now you've been asked to specify the range where these names can be found. In fact, that can be found in the name column. Yes, you may type that. You may type them there. It would easily comes. Type it as name. Okay. Right, very correct. You can see that the names are appearing in front. Yes. Now they ask what is the criteria. So the criteria must be the individual salesperson. Yes. Right, you may select them, give a reference because you need to drag them down. So keep it relative and you have very correctly done that. Then it asks what is the sum range. So that is in fact the dollars. Very correct. So that's how you manage to get that and say okay. Right, you can simply drag them. So that is how you have managed to get the values over there. Good job. You have done it perfectly. Right. So let us now move on to the second question. So would like someone to volunteer with that respect. So without taking much time, let us go through that. Yes. So without taking much time, we have a lot more to discuss. Would like someone to volunteer? So this particular exercise could be quite helpful for you to do your class activity 3 as well. So therefore better participate, and we may do that together. Someone to volunteer without taking much time. Yes? Anyone? Right, since we are running out of time, let me take that option. So let me take you through that, a couple of them. Right. So how many units? The second question, first one we are done with that. The second question asks how many units were returned by the customers for the same period. So in my case also, let me apply the range names, then that will make our task easy. So first you have to select the entire data set. When you are working in large scale databases, that must be the ideal approach. See, here we have around 2000 records nearly. Let's see. Yeah, it goes like, yeah, 1900, around 1900 records. You may go to the formula and you may ask create from selection, and you may ask to take the names from the top row, right? Then how many units were returned by the customer for the same period? Then how do you ensure? So it is simply what is less than below, what is less than 0. So what you could have done, you could have taken return. So you have to take the SUMIF as usual, and the range has to be, this time you are taking the units. It is units, no? You may simply type that, then it comes. Then what is the criterion? The criterion must be, it should be less than 0. Less than 0. We have to say. So with that, you can see the answer appears, because our sum range is also the range. So therefore, even if you do not give the sum range, still there would be the answer. The answer would still be there. Or what you can do is, even you can simply type units over there for the sake of completion. So still you may get the answer 922. So that should be the answer for the second one. Right. Then the third one, if you have questions on that, you better ask it. In the meantime, what was the total dollar volume sold in or after 2005? Yes, there's one question. Seems to be, can we use an O function with SUMIF function? An O. So we may have to check that, Putha. We may have to check that leisurely. So we may go through this and later we may see that, right? Okay. Right, here it asks, what was the total dollar volume sold in or after 2005? So it is again, what you have to do, you have to make use of the SUMIF. You can make use of the SUMIF and get into the answer. So what is the range this time? Total dollar volume sold in or after 2005. So therefore your range is, this time you are checking for a particular date, right? So therefore it has to be date. So that is where you can locate the date. Then what is your criteria? The criterion must be, it should be greater than or equal. Here you need to be conscious. You are applying the format appropriately. So if you go to this date column, see what is the format that is being given. It is month, then the date, and then the year. So you have to go in that particular format, right? The month, date, and the year. So therefore, in this particular case, it may not make a huge difference because it was greater than or equal 1st of January, or the January 1st, 2005. Sorry, 2005. Then there it comes, particular value, but we are looking for the total dollar values. You have type dollars. There it comes 157,854.32. So this is the total value solved in or after 2005. Right, we have some questions over there. Let's see. There's a confusion that in the previous question, it asked that how many units were returned by the customer for the same period. So it is little confusing. So there what we have tried to mean that considering the whole period, or in that particular case, you should have thought that for 2004 and 2005 and 2006 separately, something like that. But this was the expectation, Kuta. So it may not communicate from the question what we have said, but that's what we have tried to communicate. How many units were returned by the customers for the same period, for the entire period, right? Let's correct the wordings over there. For the period, let's say, otherwise removing the same. So this is what the expectation, right? So it's something to do with the wrong, right? Each year returns, yes. Some of you have done in that particular way. So that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. Is simply because something went wrong with the wordings. So, right? Okay, sorry for that. But you have done it in that particular way. That is totally fine. But this was what I have originally thought of getting. Right? Here I would like to show you an important thing. Right? Here we have type the things within the formula. For example, when it comes to this year, I have simply typed the things on the formula and I have get it. But we were used to repeatedly say that you are not going to hard code the things. No, you are not going to hard code the things. You are not going to type the things within the formula. Then one may think, can't we use a reference over here? Can't we use a reference for that? Yes, in fact, you can do that. And we may see this, right? So here, in order to use a reference, what you can do, you have to type the date in a particular cell. Say I have typed it somewhere over here, right? Now I'm going to generate this using the reference. I would take SUMIF, and having taken that, the range. What is the range? So that is the date. Date is there. Then I'm taking greater than or equal this reference, right? I have given the reference, and I'm taking the sum range, dollars. See, what am I getting? I'm getting 0. So it is clearly different from the answer what you had got earlier. Then why is that? So if you go by the references, sometimes you can come across something like this, especially in situations where the date may involve. So therefore, if you try to go by the references, then the things may go wrong. Then how you are supposed to rectify the situation? So there you have to do a very simple thing. That is, taking this original formula, nothing wrong with the range, nothing wrong with the sum range, but something is wrong with the criterion. So if you try to use the references, especially when the dates are there, when you are giving that, how you should do, it must be like this, right? Very carefully observe. You may open up the double quotes. Double quotes you may open up, then you may take the sign. Greater than or equal. Then thereafter you are going to close this bracket, right? Then මේක උතල බලා ගන්න හොඳින්. ඒකට අපි brackets දෙකක් open කරා, greater than or equal sign එක ගත්තා. ඊට පස්සේ brackets දෙක close කරා. ඊට පස්සේ අපිට පුළුවන් පොඩි space එකක් තියන්න. Keep a space. Keep a space. Then take the ampersand sign. And sign. You can take the ampersand sign, right? Then you can keep space again. Keep space. Then you may use the reference. See what happens? You are getting into the same answer. So therefore, if you try to go by the references, that must be the way out, right? The double quotes open, take the command, the Boolean operators, you may take that, then close it, keep space, take the ampersand, keep space, use the reference. You may getting into the same. Even in the previous case, if you had tried to do it as a reference, sometimes it may not work. Say it is 0, no? If you try to do that using in the previous instance, even you may not get into that. So your range is, it's about the units, right? It is units. It has to be greater than 0. Sorry, less than, no? Less than 0. If I try to use that, see what happens. And the range name is also the units. Again, I'm ended up making into the same situation. So again, your way out should be the previous case. Open up the double quotes, take the Boolean operator, then you may take it, close it, keep some space, take the ampersand, keep some space, make the reference. See, you're getting into the required answer. So this is the way what you have to do if you go by the references. Right, okay. So this is how we may do that using the references, but in case examination, so if you find that you can't manage it using these references, better stick to the previous method, how we were used to do that, right? Okay. Then it asks, how many units of lip gloss were sold during the whole period? How many units of lip gloss were sold? So therefore you have to make sure the product is lip gloss. Then you can select. So it's a very easy one. How many units of lip gloss were sold? Units, no? Yeah, you have to take the units. You take sum if as usual. Then the range has to be units, while the criteria has to be lip gloss. Lip gloss. Sorry, range has to be where the lip gloss is there. No, sorry for that. The lip gloss is there in the product. No, so it should be product. That is where you can find this lip gloss. So I might make the reference. And then the sum range, that is what the units. This time it asks for the units. How many units of lip gloss were sold during the whole period? So there we have sold 16,333 units. 16,333 units were sold. So I may come to the questions later. So let us go through these questions first. Then the next question asks that how many revenue did lip gloss sales bring in? So then it is something similar to the previous one. The only difference being it is dollar value rather than the units. So it is sum if. First you must specify where you can locate the lip gloss. It is in the product. It is in the product. Then the criteria, make reference sum range, that must be dollars, no? Dollars. So it had brought us the sales of 49,834.6434, right? Then it asks, what is the total dollar amount of sales made by Jen? Okay, so it is Jen. Let me copy that name, put it somewhere over there. Total dollar amount of sales made by Jen. You can take sum if as usual. So we are practicing lots of sum if, right? The range name, there we can see that it is there in the name. So I can locate Jen in the name column. Then the name, the criteria, that is Jen. Then what is the sum range? The sum range has to be the dollars. No, what is the total dollar amount of sale made by Jen? So it is going to be the dollars. So the Jen has generated $29,050. $29,050 the Jen has generated. Now we are coming to an important point. It asks us what dollar amount of sales were not made by Jen. So except Jen, what was the total sales that is made? So except Jen, what was the total sales made? So again, here you can do it in different ways. So that is in the sense, you may simply go and type the things and get it. Yeah, let's see that. So you take the sum if as usual. Then the range where you can locate the names, that is in the name. Then the criteria must be not equal. You have to take the not equal sign, right? The double quotes, take it, and let's make the reference and see whether it works. See, it says invalid. Okay, let me close it. And if I take the sum range, that is going to be the dollars. මම මෙතන gen කියන එක ඔන්න refer කරලා තමයි දුන්නේ. But it seems that there it gives us a answer. I thought that it may not. If it was not, then you may have to make use of the ampersand. So here it worked, no problem, right? It's not equal gen. So it is sum if you had typed it, whether it comes, just to see range. So it is name, that is where I can locate the gen. It is not equal gen. Let me close it. The sum range, it is dollars. We are getting into two different values. We are getting into two different values, no? So then it is questionable. It comes as 211,786 in one method. The other method, that is 240,837. So let's make use of that, the method what we are used to do, the ampersand sign, and see what must be the result. Keep space, ampersand, keep space, then make the reference. Yes, so this should be the correct answer. So the earlier, though the answer was given, that was not correct. So therefore, when we do that by hard coding the things, now we are getting into the same. Even in this instance, if you are going by the reference, so you may have to think of, you may have to use the, so especially if you are going by this, the Boolean operators, the greater than, less than, greater than or equal, not equal, those instances, if you wish to do the reference, so you may have to take this particular approach. Now we are getting into the same figure under the both method. So even, yes, one sensible way is you could have made use of the not function even. So you may have made use of the not function here as well. So in that particular case, you may have to take that sum if not. You may have to couple that and try this out, right? Okay. So better try this out and see whether it works, Lakshita. Then it asks the total of lip gloss sales done by Bestie. The total of lip gloss sales done by Bestie. So here we have two conditions. The Betsy, right? The correct name must be Betsy. So here I'm taking it and the product must be lip gloss. So I'm copying that, then I can ensure that I'm taking the proper terms. Otherwise, it is going to be little risky. Sometimes when you're typing the things may go wrong. So therefore, better to copy it from the original data set, then you know that is perfectly okay. So here you can see the two conditions are there. Then if the two conditions are there, you've been asked to take the total, you may have to go for the sum. It's more than one condition, more than one condition. So the sum range is there. It is, you have to specify, you are taking the dollars, no? Dollars. Sum range is dollars. Then it asks criteria range 1. Where you can locate the bits, Betsy, that is in the name. You may locate them in the name. Then the criteria 1, that is Betsy. Then the second criteria, it has to be the product. The product is lip gloss. Product is lip gloss. So here we have the dollar value of lip gloss sold by Betsy. Sold by Betsy. The two conditions are there and you are locating it. Say okay. 5,689.91. Right. And please ensure that whether I'm getting the right answers, right? So there are a few more. So let's go through that as well. Then you would be coming to a good point, right? Among the transaction involving at least 50 units, the total sales of eyeliners. Again, two conditions are there. At least 50 units. At least 50 units. So 50 units is one condition. The other condition is going to be the eyeliners. Eyeliner, right? Okay. So again, the way out, sum ifs, because there are more than one condition. So they take in sum ifs, the sum range. So you have to look for. So it is going to be the dollars, the sum range. Then the criteria 1, the first one, you need to ensure that the units must be, if you are going to use the reference, here it involves the greater than or equal. So keep the space, take the ampersand, keep the space, make the reference. Make the reference. And then the criteria 2, it is going to be the product eyeliner. Product, and that has to be eyeliner. So it comes as 41,130.58. So that should be the case. That should be the case, right? Then it asks the average quantity of lip gloss in each sale made by Betsy. So again, several conditions are there. Average quantity in units, lip gloss, and Betsy. So better copy the information. So the one criterion is going to be the lip gloss, other criterion that is Betsy. Let me take that. The average. This time you want to have the average IPS. The average IPS will do the job because there are two conditions, right? Then you may take the average IPS. Average IPS. We have the average range. What is that? You have to take the units. So it asks in terms of units. So you take the units. Then the criteria range 1. So the product is there. That is lip gloss. Then the criteria range 2. That is going to be the name. And that is Betsy. Sorry. So you can simply make a reference over there. Yes. Then it comes in average. It's going to be like 34.38 or something. 34 point. So if you want to have the decimals, you may have it 34.39. So that is the average quantity. Then it asks among transaction involving at least 40, okay, 40 units, the average of total sales average made by Ashley. So again, better to copy it from the data set. Better to copy it from the data set, Ashley. Then you can, again, it is going to be the average IPS. Average IPS will do the job. Average range is going to be, this time it's the sales. So therefore it is going to be the dollars, right? Then the criteria range 1, the units has to be at least 40. So therefore it should be, again, greater than or equal greater than or equal, close the brackets, keep some space, take the ampersand, take some space, and make it to 40. Then take the criteria range 2, that is about the name. The name is going to be Ashley. Name is going to be Ashley. So we may take that, say, okay. Right. So that must be the case for that. Then we have sales revenue during the period starting from 30th. So this has to be put into the correct format. So the month comes first. 6th, that is a month. Then we have the date. Next, then we have the year. Then we have, again, the month should come first. Then we have the date next, and then the year. So we may take that, right? The sales revenue during this particular period, again, you have to take the sum-ifs, no? So taking sum-ifs, you can take the sum range, that's going to be the dollars. The sum range is dollars. Then the criteria range 1, it has to be the date. Date must be greater than or equal, close the bracket, sorry, close the double quotes, keep some space, take the ampersand, keep some space, make the reference. It must be greater than or equal to this. And again, the second criteria, that is also the date. So take the date, and the criterion must be greater than or equal, close the brackets, keep some space, have the ampersand, keep some space, and make it. Say, okay. So this is the sales revenue during the particular period, right? Here, make sure that I have taken it greater than, no? Sorry, it has to be less than, no? The second one, mistakenly I have taken it like greater than, so it should be less than or equal. Less than or equal, sorry for that. 79,220. Okay. Just check for the answers if something had gone wrong. Then it asks the next one, it's about, so the 2 more questions to go. So it would take only 4 to 5 minutes, right? The sales made by Jen during the period is starting from this particular, same period is given. So therefore I may copy those 2 conditions. Together with that, it has to be Jen. It has to be Jen. So you can copy paste that. 3 conditions are there. Again, you want to take the sales, total sales. So therefore you take the sum-ifs as usual. The sum range, it is going to be the dollars. You take dollars. Criteria range 1, maybe name. So I may start with name. The criteria, it's Jen. The second criterion, it has to be the date. It should be the double quotes open, greater than or equal, double quotes closed, space, ampersand, space, the reference. So if you really want to go by the references, right? Then take the dates. The other condition, it must be less than or equal, close it, keep some space, take ampersand, keep some space, and make it 2005. So during that particular period, the how much that the Jen had made, and this is it. And finally, it asks you the mascara sales made by Jen during the period is starting from, yeah, same period is there. Another condition is getting added. No matter how many conditions comes. So you can go up to like 32 conditions, if I'm not mistaken. You can go up to several. Right. We have taken 4 conditions over here. Now you can apply this again. The mascara sales made by Jen during this period. You are going by the sum-ifs. taking it. The sum range is going to be the dollars. Then the criterion range 1. You may take the date, whatever. You may start with whatever the criterion that you may want. Quotes greater than or equal. Close it, keep some space. Take the ampersand, keep some space. Refer the date. The second criteria, again, the date, it has to be less than or equal. Keep some space. Take the ampersand, keep some space. Make the reference. Move to the next one. The criteria range 3. It's going to be the name, and that is mascara. So you may make the reference. Sorry, the name has to be Jen, no? Jen. Sorry for that. Then finally we have the product, and that is mascara. Right. You have taken every criterion. Then you can say. So with that, it gets us the answer, right? So this would be the answers. So probably I'll be uploading this answer as well. Then you can further refer this. And we have managed to discuss everything there. And while I'm working that, there were several questions that the certain questions were raised that can we use this not function with this sum if? We may check that, Puta. And also several other conditions are there. Several other questions are there. So in fact, today that may, we do not have the adequate time to attend everything. So probably we may take this discussion even for the next class for some time. So therefore we can further have a look into this, right? Then having said that, let us move back to the question that we've been working, the very first question. And let us put one more attempt over there and see whether we can get into the desired result. So it's about the commission that we've been working. So the way that you are supposed to get the answer here was, I said that using the if function, we would be able to get that. So we may try that once and see whether it works. So if not, we may take that to the next class, right? So in fact, here, you know, there is one standard way of getting the answer. That is going to be the nesting if. Nesting if will do the job, but even the ifs should do the job, right? So let us see that. So you can take these ifs. And when come to the test, it has to be 3 tests. So therefore, we may have to take this and, right? Then you may take this segment. It has to be the consumer. Consumer is there. Then the second condition is it has to be the state. The state has to be the California. California must be there. And the third thing, it's about the product. It has to be like tables, if I'm not mistaken. Then you can close the bracket over there. Then take it, if true, multiply this by 0.07. Then the second logical test was, again, we are taking the and open it. We are checking whether this is corporate. Then take the comma, state, whether it is New York. And the third one, it's about the product. It has to be machines. Machines. So having checked that, close the brackets. Sorry, machines has to be. And finally, if true, you're going to ask, multiply this by 0.07. Yes, the answer generate. So therefore, while we are typing, something would have gone wrong in the earlier instance. So here we have carefully do that, especially when it comes to the logical test, having taken this and giving all the condition, make sure to close the brackets. Then give what if it is correct, and thereafter look for the second condition, that is again and insert all the three conditions and close the bracket appropriately. Then say what must be the result. And then it may give us the answer, right? So I may drag this. Then you may wonder why this NA is there. So here it would be one adjustment that you may have to do manually if you use that. So here we have test for only two conditions. The instances where that does not fit with these two conditions, it comes as not applicable. So therefore, if you had made use of this ifs function, one thing that you may have to do is you may simply get rid from these instances. For example, if you see the first one, the segment is consumer, but the state is Kentucky, product is given, not the case. terbudaala මේ ifs function එක use කරොත් මෙතන පොඩි adjustment එකක් කරන්න වෙනවා. ඇත්තටම අපි conditions දෙකක් නේ check කරේ. එකක් බැලුවා එකක set එකක් customer segment එක consumer වෙනවද, state එක Californiaද, product එක table. ඒක එක set එකක්. ඊට පස්සේ අනිත් එක තමයි corporate ද, New York ද, machines ද. එතකොට set දෙකක් බැලුවේ. එතකොට එහෙම නොවන අවස්ථා තියෙනවනේ. එහෙම නොවන අවස්ථාවලට මේකේ අපිට ලබා දෙන්නේ answer එක not applicable කියලා. ඒතර කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. අපි ඒක භාවිතා කරා නම් අපිට පුළුවන් මේ not applicable instances ටික අයින් කරන්න. ඒක අපිට ඉවත් කරන්න වෙනවා. එතකොට අනිත් ඉතුරුලා තියෙන දේවල් ටික equal වෙනවා අර මෙතන. ඒතර මේක අපහසු නම් අපිට පුළුවන් nesting if වලින් answer එක තියාගන්න. ඒතර ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා අපිට. ඒක පහසු ක්‍රමයක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන මට හිතෙනවා මේක ටිකක් අපහසුයි වගේ අපිට මේවා ඉවත් කරන්න සිද්ධ වෙන එක. අපිට ඕනනම් මේ අවස්ථාවේ nesting if වලින්ම depend වෙන්න තිබ්බා. But just wanted to show you that even this is possible, right? Okay, so hope that we have managed to discuss the questions, but I believe that couldn't answer most of the questions. So even the time does not permit us. So therefore, is there a suggestion that we can make use of if error to get rid from that? Yes, we may even try that out. So let us keep that for the next class. Since it is almost 9, it took us like 1.5 hours for the discussion. But one thing again, I need to tell you that you are going to have your third assignment, the third class assignment on this Sunday. At the usual time, we'll be opening up it at 9 p.m. So the coming Sunday is going to be the 9th, right? On 9th of August at 9 p.m. we'll be opening up your third class assignment. Again, it will carry 4 marks and we will close it by 9:30. You are given half an hour to try that. And in that, what we had learned today is applicable for this particular test. So therefore, your knowledge on sum ifs, the average ifs, those would be tested. So therefore, make yourself ready for that. You have half an hour. So the job will take only 20 minutes or 15 minutes time. But in order to upload that, for all these things, we have allowed you another 10 to 15 minutes time. So therefore, you may work this out. So as you did the second one, try out this third one as well, right? So it will be opening up on the 9th of August. So together with that, today we'll be opening up some materials that is to be taken into the next class discussion, that is on the financial functions. So again, another important area, I have also uploaded some class activities on that as well. So having studied that, you may try out the class activities. When you come to the next class, we'll be taking on the class activities. So therefore, in this week, you have to do quite some work. So you have to face the class assignment 3 as well as to work out some class activities. So make sure that you attend everything. So when the eye permits, and make sure that you are taking your assignment on time, right?
May Roshan?
Yes, sir.
Roshan, yes, while you are conducting your session, there were some queries as to whether we can reach to different, using different approach, whether we can achieve our objective. Yes, I think there are possibilities. There are different shortcuts or different approaches to getting the answer.
Yes.
So what we have to do is during this training period, you better try out all those alternative shortcuts or alternative methods. And what we are suggesting, sometimes there may be some other shortcuts, ne, Roshan?
Yes,
So
definitely. So we
you,
are
you
taking
better
just taking.
try them all. There are some inbuilt function. At the same time, you can use those function creatively.
Yeah,
And there are definitely there are some other alternative ways of getting the same output.
yeah,
Now, for example, Roshan, in this second commission calculation,
yeah.
can you go to that formula?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, this one. Uh, Actually, now, if this is perfectly correct, right?
yeah.
Now, if you want, you can do this without using if function. Roshan,
Hmm.
make if function aing karna, if ka aing karna, if
Yeah,
tara,
sure, sure. Only, ne?
if oh, if tara ka aing karna.
Right. Okay.
If ka aing kala, me agin tiyana me double comma එකයි අර මේ commission calculate කරන එක cut කරන්න.
Right. Okay. Fine.
Oh, that's not. That's you now enter.
Yeah. Enter. Right. Okay. Fine.
Then
Right. It
then
comes.
false.
Yeah.
Now you can see this is now boolean operation, right? මේක දැන් add කරොත් මේ හැමතැනම false එන්නේ. රෝෂන් එක පාතර click කරන්න.
Yes.
Yes. You can see there are false and true. එතන මෙතනින් ගන්න පුළුවන්, you know, in boolean operation false කියන්නේ 0, true is 1. So accordingly, you can now simply multiply this false and true by the commission. Roshan, then make a formula alter කරන්න formula multiply කරන්න.
Yeah. So I might select everything, or I can just.
No, just select, just
Yeah, okay.
multiply.
Yeah.
You give this sales.
Yeah.
Sales.
Let me take a bracket and take that.
Correct. Sales times.
Yeah.
And
Commission percentage.
commission. You just hard type or refer to a
5%.
commission.
No? Yeah, it is given as, let me check. In the second instance, it is 5%. 5%.
Of 0.05, close the bracket.
Yeah.
Now you end it.
Yeah.
0.
Okay. Yes, it comes.
Yeah. Now you then click on it. Then click on fill on.
Yes.
The same answer.
The same answer. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's
Now,
another smart way of getting the things done.
you don't need to then use the if function. You can see this not functions. Ultimate not function gives only true and false. So you can make use of this true and false for your calculation. True is 1, always in Excel. True is 1. False is 0. So you can make use of that shortcut to get your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to leave it blank, now if you want to put them, now here you can see either 0 or a dash.
Yeah.
If you want to remove this with any other not good or any other word, then you can use if function. Right? If you go with if function, you can put double quoted and you can avoid this dash as well. But you can see same result we got without using if function. So there are different shortcuts. As some of you said, whether it's possible using different other alternative approaches, there may be some other alternative approaches, right? Don't think this is the only method. Actually, when we review your answers, Roshan, sometimes we see some students have done their answers so the models very creatively, right? Actually, this is where your creativity comes. Actually, you know, when it comes to financial reporting, when it comes to prepare your financial statement, creativity is prohibited.
Yeah.
Financial accounting, creativity is killed.
Yes, creativity accounting is somewhat the manipulation.
Manipulation, and it is unauthorized, so
not allowed.
Illegal, yeah. So creativity is killed in accounting reporting, right? But here in accounting modeling, as a modeler, as a developer, your creativity has a very good place here. You can play with your creativity or creative knowledge, innovatively think about your combining these all these shortcuts, all these knowledge. You can creatively combine this accounting modeling with your finance knowledge, accounting, economics, all this knowledge, or your software development knowledge. All this knowledge can be combined and you can come with your internet output very creatively, right? So this is why actually your creativity can be greatly used. So accordingly, don't stick to what we are teaching here. You can think about, you can try about, right, other alternative ways of getting the answers, and you better try and check whether those alternate approach will function or will work some other, I mean the different scenarios, right?
So even So in fact, that is quite good that even when it comes this not applicable one, the one has suggested that we can make use of this if error. So to be honest, that we haven't used that. So
We better think
therefore,
about
better
all the
enlighten
methods.
the class even. So if you come up with that, so better even enlighten the class. So it's a good suggestion. So we really valid your suggestions. So there can be, as Kinsey sir had mentioned, that there can be different ways of doing that. So we may be using one or two, but there can be even other than that. So therefore, so you may find out those. So better we really encourage you to do that, and even we would like to witness it over here. So probably we may allocate some more time on this even in the next class, Kinsey sir. Better take some time, I feel. Right. Kinsey sir.
Okay, Roshan, happy and other not the
Right. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. So thank you very much. Then good night to everyone.
Thank you.
See you in the next class.